Hey guys, so I started recording, I started painting, and I was like, oh, you know what? I should probably really record this. So, therefore, I am. Okay, so we are on the painting level. That was the skin, and then I went through and I did all the metal, and then I did the leather. So now I'm just kind of doing I've got the main colors in. So what I'm doing now is just really kind of filler. As you can see, it looks like without the lines. So I'm just going in and doing filler painting. I'm doing filler painting to make it all look good. So I need to change this color to this color temporarily because I've got this gray area here. And I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to use the pressure round simple brush, nothing fancy. It's a default brush. Oops, why is that brown? I told it to change to the... Oh, I know why. It was on the wrong layer, that's why. I still did the same thing. There it goes. That's what I was trying to do. So I gotta go back to this later to do it because the gray, I guess what I was trying to do is clean up the line work. So I used the background color for it. But when I did that, it put it on the layer that wouldn't allow me to... I don't like that gray. Anyway, I put it on a layer that wouldn't allow me to paint over it. So, because it was on top. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix it now on the very top layer. That way, yeah, that's fine. Now, yeah, that works. So I always like to look at the drawing without the line. It looks like a bunch of cutouts. Because if it still makes sense without the line on it, then it's working. So, that being said, go ahead and fix some lines where I can. See these white spaces? Oh, sometimes they show up. If I get rid of them right now, they won't show up. Oops, I wasn't on the skin layer. So I'm actually going to drop this down onto the skin layer. There you go. Now it's all the same layer. Sometimes you just got to do that because when you have too many layers, it gets really confusing. Now, when I paint, I often paint the lines right out of things. And I end up blending it so that it looks like it's like there's no lines on it, like it's just a real thing. Well, real as I can paint it anyway. And other times I leave the lines in, like comic book style, I leave the lines in. But if I want to paint something realistically, I paint the lines out. This particular case, I might leave the lines in. I'm not for sure yet. At the moment, I am. but I'll make my decision in a minute. So I'm going to put these colors in here. Okay. All right, bring the lines back. All right, if I went over the line, it's not a big deal. We can fix it. But at least I got all the little white spots missing that were there, gone. Or most of them, anyway. Okay, so we're almost done with a lot of it. And then I'm gonna go in, and so what I was doing was I had a deeper green. I think this is the deeper green. No, that's the gray. Grab my keyboard. It slid way under my monitor. Okay, so I need the deeper green again. Okay, and for the deeper green, as you see, I started applying it. I'm using the fuzzy brush. Still pressure sensitive, so the harder the push, the larger the brush tip. The lighter you push, the smaller the brush tip. Like a real brush. That way I have the control of big and small lines. So what I'm doing here is basically putting in the shadows, if you will. Okay. I'm going to put in shadows and highlights. This is not an airbrush. This is the fuzzy brush. Fuzzy, just a, yeah, I don't know. I call it fuzzy brush, but I guess it's not technically a fuzzy brush. And what I'm doing with this, I'm just going along and putting in the shadowed areas of his skin tone. You know, where the light wouldn't be hitting it so much. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, actually, there's going to be a sword in his hand there, but for the moment, I just colored it as if there wasn't anything in his hand. And that's going to be in shadow, this whole area there, because it's under the pauldron. Okay. Can even if I can there. All right. Oh, and this shadow would actually be like this. Light wouldn't be hitting it. Now, as I always say, you got to figure out where the light's coming from. So I'm assuming the light's coming in from back here. Okay. Yeah, I can leave that there and get rid of it later. It's not a big deal. All right. Okay. Think of everything three-dimensional. It has 3 dimensions to it as you're painting it. When you're thinking where the light's going to hit it, even though it's technically 2-dimensional on your can't on your digital canvas even here, think of it that it's 3-dimensional and how the light would paint. Now right here I've got a thing I forgot to put the dark gray of the other part of the hoop. Gotta fix that. I need a hard line. So once you zoom in too, you can also see where oops, I got black on. Did not mean to cough in your ear again, sorry. Sometimes when things look good from a distance, then you zoom in, you realize, like, man, there's a lot of mistakes in here. Okay. At some point, what I'll do is I'll actually flatten the entire thing. For the moment, I have the line layer still above the other one, so yeah, probably don't want that color in there. I probably want something like this in there, a dark brown. All right, so now I go through and start darkening up the leather. This is actually going to be brighter here on the edge, but for the moment I have the dark brush on. I'll just use it. So I gotta remember where the light's coming from. It's coming from over there. So like this wouldn't be, I just darkened it, but it shouldn't actually be dark there. It's a little dark here, but it would kind of fade as it goes around. I'm just using this brush to put in the brown. I'll go back in and repair everything with the. Here you have a rim light going to come in here. But for the moment, I haven't decided what's going on with this for a minute. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and probably change this handle to something else. So there's a television show on, I don't know why I bring this up, but I guess I do bring it. I have a reason to bring it up. It's a television show that's on the Apple TV, which I happen to get free for a little while because I got a new iPhone, so I got Apple free TV, and there's a show on there called C, and it's got Jason Momoa he plays Aquaman, and he played Dargo from Game of Thrones, and I don't know. But anyway, point of this is that he's on the show. So, and John Batista joins the cast this year for the second season. So I was like, man, I want to see the show. Started watching that. I could not make it past the first episode, and I'll tell you why. I'm not ruining anything for you because it's common. It's not a spoiler, I promise. It's a pretty common premise of the show that you'll learn right away that something happened, a virus or something that killed off most of the people. So it's actually a post-apocalyptic story in our future, and everybody's blind. The virus left everybody blind. So my problem with it is, and it's just a simple one, but it's a design problem, and I can't get over it enough to enjoy the show. My problem with it as a art director and a concept artist, and well, that's jobs I've done, but if I was a producer, I would have a problem with it too. And it is the fact that everybody's blind, right? Okay, so all right, fine, that can work, I guess. It's kind of interesting, something new, and I see where let's go. But the problem comes in the fact that they're blind, but they're wearing matching colors. Okay, they're wearing matching uniforms, and they have things like tattoos and ornamentation on. Okay, now they're blind, and apparently they've been blind for a long time. Whole entire generations have grown up blind. Okay, so why do blind people? First of all, how do they know they are wearing matching? Because nobody can see, so it's not like a couple people can see. Nobody can see. So how do they know they're wearing matching outfits? First of all, and that right away, I was like, what? Wait, they have matching outfits on. Sure, it looks cool for us, but it doesn't make any sense in the premise of the show. Okay, how do they know they have matching? How do they have matching outfits, and how do they know they have matching outfits? Okay, they're blind. Color has no feel to it, has no texture. Okay, now it could be that they all could have just had a piece of fabric with the same texture on it, but technically, that's as far as it would go. They would have and maybe they could feel that it had the same shape. Okay, got that. And they can obviously feel if it's covering their body. But these people were manicured like they sat there and, I'm not saying a blind person can't take care of themselves, like combing their hair and whatnot, but these people, their clothes were spotlessly clean. Okay, I gave them that even. They were matching colors, outfits. They had things that were hung for nothing more than ornamentation. Okay, why, and what? I mean, come on, man. If they're blind, they could be, as long as they're covered up. How would they know what they're wearing? First of all, they're blind, and nothing against blind people or disabled people in any way, but they're blind. How do they know? How do they know they're wearing matching outfits? And why are they wearing matching outfits? Even the enemy can't see their matching outfits. So it's not like they're intimidating anybody. You know what I mean? It's not like they're intimidating the enemy by the way they look. Aesthetically, it's achieving nothing. And it's not even if somebody was there telling them, oh yeah, that looks good, and I'm going to get you guys all set up for battle here, wear this, and it'll look cool. They don't know. They have no idea. So if they did have matching outfits on, the chance of it is 100% lucky. Okay? And everybody has matching outfits. Okay? Matching colors. They could have the same cut of fabric or whatever, even the same fabric, but matching colors even. And it's not just like okay. I mean, they all had matching colors. Like every part of their outfit matched. And I'm just like, there's no way, if they're blind, that they could have matching outfits. And it bothered me so much that I couldn't watch the show. I'm not even kidding you. I was like, I can't watch this. Because he just kept eating at me. Sure, aesthetically it looks cool for us to watch it. Don't get me wrong. But it makes no sense. Once again, they're blind. Okay? And once again, it's not that I don't think they could not take care of themselves, not survive, not living. That would be very difficult. They had guiding dog, like the one, they had some guide dogs and stuff. Okay, I can see it. You know, maybe, yeah. You adapt other senses, hearing, whatnot. They live out in the, survive in the post-apocalyptic world. Blind, okay. But matching, there's no way they have matching outfits. Matching colors. And it's not even like just it's like coordinated matching outfits and colors. I've known some people that were blind, and you know, they it's not they didn't wear clothes, but people obviously helped them probably to pick out their clothes or whatnot, you know, and but like I remember the one person was taking notes on a typewriter that typed in Braille for them, and they were just using. It was interesting. We were talking about it because they were just using just general leftover scrap paper with writing and stuff on it and ads and whatnot, but it didn't matter because they couldn't see what was on the paper. It had no whatsoever meaning what was on that paper to them. It was the bumps that formed for the Braille. Okay, so that goes back to what I just said. These people were wearing matching colors. Okay, technically, if they were blind for like this generations, like no one remembered the last time people could see. Okay, how do they have matching colors? And I'm sorry, it bothered me so much I couldn't watch the show anymore. Because it just took me out of the belief of the show. I couldn't believe that that world existed because of that. Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, I think I'm recording again. Yeah, alright. Sorry about that. Okay, where was it? So, I was just putting in shading here. Now, I'm going to go in and do texturing on the skin and everything. But right now, let's jump over to the leather. The leather on the belts. We'll go with this one. Okay. Alright, so what brush do I have? That's fine. It's got a shading here. Seems a little green to me, doesn't it? Let me try this. Alright. Okay, so I'm just going to darken this leather up a little bit. It's brown, but it's... These are metal on the bracelets. I'm just going through working on the parts that are brown. why this looks green. It's supposed to be brown, but I don't know why it looks green-brown to me. I don't see green anywhere on the... But it does look like it, doesn't it? Alright, so, I can go ahead and keep working that color. I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit. Kind of a lot of abuse. It was an abused color. Oh, the boots too. Forgot. The boots were in these little things here. So there's another case where I got the color on the upper layer, top layer. Okay, so yeah, that has definitely got green in it. I'm gonna go away from that brown a little bit. There, brown. That's a better brown. It's closer to the original brown. Okay, so you can see where the... So at this point... I've got to go through and get rid of all this paint over that I did to clean up the black line, I guess. So the only way to do it is to erase it. And let the... Oops. Oh. No, go away. Anyway, I gotta erase it. I'll let the... I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm just go ahead. At this point, I'm done with trying to protect the line. I'm just gonna merge it down and work it all together. Because at some point, it gets to the point where you I got the majority of it painted, so I won't lose the line that bad. Because at some point, you if you have multiple layers of stuff, it just gets really confusing. Of what you're trying to paint something and it won't change. And yeah, I was to that point. But I had the fill in there, so the fill is still the basic color. So just go ahead and redraw some stuff. It's fine. These boots just had too much double layered stuff going on here. A little bit here, a little bit there. Alright, so I'll go ahead and blend a little bit lighter color of the boot. So at this point, I'm going to kind of like think in reverse. Where's the light coming from? The light's coming from the top. Where's it going to be hitting it? Hitting it anywhere that's top of edges of things. Folds. Top of the boot. And then my good old smudge brush will help me blend it all together nice and real pretty like. Real pretty. So it brings me back to oil painting type situation. I've been painting for years traditionally, and really digital painting and regular painting are same thing. This darker color, make it a little darker. Pop down in here. Oops, I'll change it to my brush again. Drop this darker color in here. And okay, so he's going to be there. Okay. Where the light's not hitting it, much darker brown, and then just go slightly up from that, and the next layer up from that brown is this brown here, which should be kind of in between the two. See, leather and cloth have more subtle variations in them than, like, did I say metal? Leather is what I meant to say. If I said leather, I'm sorry. Leather and cloth have much more subtle variations between the color changes and blends than a piece of metal would. A piece of metal would be harsher. And so this is metal over here on this edge of this anyway, so I'm just gonna throw down this gray here to establish what that was, metal. Somehow it got kind of screwy. Okay. I'll get back to this dark color here. Alright, so then these a little bit darker brown. This is going to be the shadows for this bag. The belted shadows by the belt. Dark area of the belt. Dark area of the really dark, smaller, finer brush. Okay. Okay, it's going to be kind of really darken areas here. Okay, want those little subtleties. Not quite black, really close to it. the stitches back in. I kind of took them out a little bit. Okay. Maybe these aren't the most expensive boots, but they're getting the job done, ain't they? That's the important part. Now this is supposed to be like a fur, so I'm going to put in the dark hairs, if you will, with this color, and I'll go back in and hit it up with the light reflecting off of the hair color. So this is supposed to be like a fur thing. Get out under there. It's weird right now, but we'll fix it. It'll look better. It'll look better by the time I'm done, I promise. It's weird fur underwear. Okay. Then these darker where the metal bands under there. Okay. Really dark around the button. Shadow the way the lights plays off that flap. Okay. Plays off the flap again. Plays off the metal, the edge of the metals in the ring. Okay. Kind of where it pulls it. The leather flap slowly blocks the light a little bit. Edge of the ring, edge of the ring. Okay. The dagger. Alright, this is the... Okay, so... that. Okay. So this leather is coming together, and now we need a light piece. So these are gonna be the lights hitting the edges of the leather the most. It's gonna leave the most reflection. Okay. It's coming in from this side, remember, so. Now, it's a little cartoony looking. I didn't blend it at all, but I haven't decided how much cartoony I want this look and not cartoony. Because, like, if we're going World of Warcraft style, it's going to be a little cartoony. It's just the nature of the art style. Okay. So hit the bottom of the leather belt and going around the side here. Okay. And then the boots, all these straps just a little bit. The boots, the stitching would have some, a little bit of So the stitching catches the light. Okay. Lightest part of the leather on the boot. Okay, so where the leather bends, I'm gonna assume the light's gonna catch it a little bit more there, even if it's not directly shining on it, it's still gonna catch it more. Just like anything, you know, when things bend, the leather catches it more. Now this is, like I said, it's a bit cartoonish harsh, so I'm not for sure how much I'm gonna blend it. At the moment, I'm just gonna put a subtle blend in there with the smudge brush, and then if I decide I want it less cartoony, I'll blend it more. But for the moment, that's working. Alright. Like I said, I haven't for sure decided how uncartoony I want it. Alright, so there's leathers on there. Oh, it's fur. So for the fur, let me go over here a little more. This color. Okay. All right. I might even heat this up a little bit. All right. So now, because it is that super bright, just a little bit. Let's smudge that. Okay. All right. So, and once again with this a little bit. Okay. All right. So he's got fur underwear on. Okay. I haven't put textures into. What I'll do when I'm done with the paint is I'll go in and I'll put textures in on the leather, the skin, like a rough texture. That way it'll add to it, to the realism of it. And I gotta work on the metal, the horns, the teeth, the gold. I kind of think those boots actually, that highlight on the leather might be a little too gold. Gold, I like gold. It actually does look like gold. So I might throw down with just a little bit of just a little bit of another color in darker. Just darken it up a little bit. So it's not quite so gold. It's still a little bit too gold. 1 second. Okay, guys, I'm back. All right. This is a busy night, huh? Okay, let's see here. So these were a bit gold. So what I was doing is I was putting a little more brown in here because I don't know. I just feel it's a little too gold. And then, like I said, I have texturing. I have to put in. See it I'm browning up this gold look it has. I don't want it to be so. I want it to be, you know, lighter leather, but I don't want it to be gold. It looks a little bit gold. So to just put in a little brown. Not a lot. I don't want to darken it too much. Just tone it down a little bit. Besides, it adds a little bit of texture to it anyway. The little different tones. Closer to. Well, you know what? That one was too dark. Let's see here. Undo that one. There it goes. There we go. Just wanted a little bit. There. That looks better. Yeah, it was just too gold. Because gold and brown. Oops, I want to. Gold and brown are similar colors. So. And even in here a little bit. Okay, so that will work. And then this one needs a little bit of okay, so I turned on the wrong thing. The top of my monitor has a little switch that's made for to turn the Cintiq on and off, and if you hit it, it takes you to a brings up the Cintiq like I don't know what you call it, the it's I don't know, like a control thing anyway, and that's why I turned it on by accident. Alright, so yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is I don't want to. I did flatten those lines, didn't I? I forgot that I did that. I was just gonna say I'm gonna go through and lower some of these lines. Well, actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to instead, since I forgot that I got rid of the lines, I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna put them back in, but I'm gonna put them in with a lighter tone. It's dark still, but it's not quite as thick. There you go. Just gonna fix that a little bit. So it's still there, but it's not. I want it thick in certain places, but some places it's too thick. Okay, so I'm using a color very similar. I'm just doing it in the brown right now. Very similar to black, but it's just a really dark brown. And I'm hitting those, thinning out those lines a little bit there. And the places I painted over them, I'm just kind of reinforcing it a little bit. Okay. Alright, and I see I have to go back and touch things up with green. Alright, but that's okay. See that? See these lines here? It's just all fine tuning. Now, if I had had the selections on instead, it would have. I probably could have avoided that, but I turned off the selections. I just started painting. So, there's things to be said about the selections. So the selections will give you more of a vectorized look, which is the really clean, cartoonish look. My look is a mixture of the clean look and the loose painted look. Okay. So you get close, you can see all this. From a distance, it looked okay, but when I get close to it, I can see the places where I need to fix things. See that little spot right there? Just so dark, it's almost black, but it's not quite. Alright, so like if I put it here, I can fix these lines a little bit. Make them thicker and thinner. Now you could actually, if I had not flattened the layer, I could have actually selected those lines and changed the color that way, but I actually flattened it, so I'm just fixing it this way. Alright, so one more thing I want to do here. I want that lighter line, but I don't want that goldish color on it, so I'm going to try going over this way a little bit, just kind of more of a faded. So still want those highlights on certain areas here. I need them for just to pull those shapes out a little bit from the rest of it. They got a little bit lost again when I was, so the more of the contrast, the better. There's a guy who works, well, now he's freelance. He's got his own studio, but he was working for Blizzard, and I watch a lot of his videos, and he has this really nice blending technique, and he was showing how he did it. So what he would do is he would it takes some practice to get it right, but the basics of it is he would take the eyedropper tool, and the hotkey for the eyedropper tool is I. So what he would do is he would keep constantly taking with the brush while he's painting. He would keep switching between I and then B is for brush. He keep switching between the I and the B, sampling the colors right around where he was painting. So he just kept painting blended colors, and it looks really good. It really does. I've tried it. It's very it's a very tricky technique to get used to doing. So I'll be honest with you, I don't do it as much as I should. I did do it a few times, and it works really well. I should really work on it more and practice it, but a lot of times I just go back to my blending brush here. So I just touch everything up with that and blend it. Okay, so you can fix so much stuff with this blending brush. It's crazy. Now another thing, because I flatten these layers together, I have to leave these black lines in here now. All I can do now is paint them out. If I had not flattened it together, I could have faded them out so they weren't as strong. You know, they would still be there, but they'd be really light. Or eliminate them altogether. But now I've flattened it all into one layer, so there's nothing I do, but they're just there. They're gonna have to, I have to accept them and live with them. so the cartoony kind of style of the black line is definitely staying. So something I can do about it, unless I paint over all of them. But I think it's okay. It doesn't bother me that much. It's just a cartoony look to it, and I'll go with that. It's fine. I was going with kind of a World of Warcrafty look anyway. But this one just has the black lines in there instead of without the black lines. And you know what? That's because I got frustrated a couple minutes ago and I pushed the two together. It's my own fault. I have it saved. Like I haven't saved it for a while. So let's see if I file, save it now, save as. So if I go back to 3 before I did a lot of the painting, it would still be separated layer. But it's too late now. I did a lot of painting and I don't feel like going back, so I'm just going to live with what I did. Oops. I'm just going to live with it. It's okay. You know what I always say? And I do say this. I'm not making it up. It's just Photoshop. We can fix it. You can fix just about anything you do in Photoshop. Don't sweat it. There's no fatal error you can't go back for in Photoshop. There are some programs that you cannot go back and fix things. You just can't. But Photoshop, it might take you a little bit of work. And if it's an original photograph, you're probably better off if you have the original photograph backed up. But if it's not an original photograph and it's a piece of artwork you're working on, you're painting or whatever, don't sweat it. You can always fix it. So I'm just going to go through here and kind of blend these lines because now they're not going anywhere. I'm stuck with them because I flattened it. These cartoony lines. They are part of the artwork. They're here to stay, so let's make them work. I think they're fine. It's going to look, when I put the texturing on there, it's going to look even better. But I want to finish that last. That's the last thing I'm going to do. First, I'm going to go back and we'll get all these surfaces done first. So what do I have left here? I have the metal on here. I have the, let's get the colors that are missing in first, and then we'll go in and finish things up. So like the metal has a basic color, so I'm going to go and finish that. But let's get these uncolored things painted first. So horns on here. So these are going to actually be physically horns, and it's going to be the same color as the tooth. So I'll come over here, and I have something that I already used. I believe it was this. Okay. And I'll go ahead and do the, I know I already flattened everything, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on anyway. Okay. Alright. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and do his tooth. Alright. he doesn't have any horns, so his fingernails. Could do his fingernails. The ones you see anyway. Which are just those. And you used to see his toenails, but you can't see those anymore, so I'm not worried about those. Alright, so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to edit, fill with the foreground color. Bam. It's a bit bright, isn't it? So I'm going to adjust it because I do think it's bright. Take the hue and saturation. That's my favorite one to adjust things with. I'm going to just lower it a little bit. That's closer to where I want it, I think. What about the saturation? No. Yeah, less saturated. And I like the color where it is, so we'll say okay. Alright, so now make sure I get that color. Okay, I'm going to add that to my swatches. And it's going to be dark bone. Okay, and then I'm going to take that color. Oops, I was saving it. Take that color and I'll make it slightly. We'll go with the darker first. Ugh. I can talk. Bring it up. Give me this fuzzy brush here. I'll go ahead and I'm going to put the shadows on this guy first. So light's coming in from here, right? So the shadow would be here. Will be almost completely shadowed here. Tooth is going to be basically like this, and thumbnails definitely like this. This one's going to be completely shadowed. Alright, then I'm going to go the opposite way with this. I'm going to go real light, the real light part of it. That's going to be this edge. It's going to have a little bit on the edge here because it's okay. It's going to definitely be a little bit on the edge because it's the what do you call it, like the rim light on the edges of it because it's circular and it's very close to there. So all right, this tooth is going to be. I'm lighting it if this is the light was hitting it, so. Okay, alright. Alright, I can, oh, the fingernails, yeah. Yeah, this is just a little bit of a stripe there, a stripe there, a stripe there, okay. That one doesn't get it. Okay, so then, save that selection, so that selection would be, I'll just call it tooth, even though it's only one tooth. I don't know what that is. Okay, so I still have my selection saved, like the skin and the metal were still selected, so I technically could open those selections up. So if I deselect and I load a selection, let's see what we have here. So we have armor, leather, tooth, and skin. So if I bring up the armor, okay, it's all the metal. All right, so this will make life a little easier. Let me actually add to this part of the selection down here. And this is why people make flats. Now those are these spikes on the boots. I was considering making them bone, but I think they're going to be. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should they be bone? Yeah, it adds a little contrast. I can fix them, even though they weren't included in the. I didn't include them in the bone selection. I can fix that. It's not a big deal. I'll paint them in after on anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all the metal. Oh, those are going to be bone too. I forgot about that. That's fine. I want a gray. So I'll go with a little bit. This, I don't know if this is the color gray I had. It looks like it might be. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so actually, I think on this one, these are here anyway, I'm going to make another layer. I'll make this layer a multiply layer. I'm going to go ahead and I'll paint it. Now, when I paint it, it won't cover the pencil line. See that? It'll just darken it. I'm doing that on purpose. Okay. Now, I'll show you a trick you have to do when you do this, though. If you do that. I don't know about this. Yeah, this is actually even darker than it was. And these are going to be metal spikes here. Do I want those metal spikes? Maybe there's our bone, too. Or is it too many bone spikes? No, these are fine metal. I'll make these metal. Okay, make these metal spikes. That's fine, we need metal spikes. Oops. It's weird. Okay, and then the same thing with these. This edge here, this is a... Okay, and then this edge. This is definitely a darker edge here. It's away from the light. This gets darker but gets lighter here. Stays darker. This one's darker. This is darker just down here in the corner. As it goes towards the side, it lightens. Okay. And the skull. You know what? I should have made the skull bone too. I will. I can fix that. Alright, I can fix the skull being bone. Darker. Okay. These are darker. Especially where the shadow of that bag is at. It's definitely darker under this dagger. Bottom of the dagger. Bottom of the dagger. Okay. Alright. Let's go bright. So now we're going to go. Oop. So I have to use another layer, and this one's going to have to be overlay. And this is just so that I don't lose the details of the details of the drawing under it. Oops, I forgot to put the darker in over here. Let me go back to that darker color that was on this layer and make this as that color. Okay. Okay, I'll put this. Yeah. Okay. What was I thinking? I forgot to put this in here. So you gotta imagine that the light's coming. Okay. Back to this one. Back to the overlay layer. Okay, and this is where the light and the dark come together. Okay. And we're having even a lighter light on the other side. This is just once again bright up here, light here. Oh yeah, these are metal spikes, weren't they? Okay. I was like, did I forget to paint those white or bone? But they were not. They were bright. This part of this amulet here, and this part of it here. That's fine. and these a little bit on the edges. I don't know about this dagger, what was going on with it, but we'll light it. And these are really bright. We need some mid-tone in there first. Just a mid-tone. Oh, these are bone, that's right. Just a little bit of mid. I don't want that so bright. Yeah, lighter than the other, but not as dark. Okay. Okay. Now, bring this in. Oops. What did I do? Now I bring this in. Okay. Alright. So now, alright, so these two layers, shift, I have to make those into a smart layer, then flatten it. Oh man, it didn't work. It's supposed to keep the... If you put those as a smart layer, they're supposed to not lose their layer. So let's see here. Okay. Shift. To make those into a smart object, they're supposed to not do what they just did. Merge layers. Nope. So yeah, I didn't want that to happen. Okay. Being a smart object, they should not do that. They both turned into an overlay layer. No. Merge layers. Nope. Make one more layer. And merge all three of these. And one normal layer. And merge all three of these and see what happens. I don't remember this being a problem before. The smart layers used to keep those. No, and it didn't work. Okay. Well, I don't think I want color dodge. Vivid light is fine. If it would not screw this one up. Well, let's see what this does, what these two layers do. If I merge them together. Or what this one do. Oh, man. What's this doing? Okay. Well, I kind of like this one. It's closer to what I was trying to go for in the end. So then what if I take this and rasterize it? Yeah, okay, that'll work. That's closer to what I was trying to work towards the end. I guess unless it wasn't just a good idea. That's all there was to it. So let's just go for it. Alright, besides this was really screwy here. I didn't realize that. How bright that was. But it's also, it's above the painted layer, which is what I've wanted anyway, so that's fine. I didn't want it to be on the painted layer. That was kind of the point. It seems to be not... Oh, it's still vivid light, that's why. So it seems to be not painting over the... Not painting over the line layer, which is what I was trying to get it to not do. Okay. I'll fix all this. It's fine. Once again, it's Photoshop. It's fixable. Okay. So... It's Photoshop. We can fix it. Huh. That's so weird. Okay. Well. Every time it just seems to go back to that kind of layer. Whatever. Guess we're just not getting out of this, are we? Nope. We are not getting out of this, so we're going way back and get rid of all of it. It's just a bad thing to go with. Am I out of undos? It might be. Yeah, so. Well, I guess I'll just get rid of this layer. Where? This one? Get rid of it too. There you go. There. Nothing's been affected. Alright, I'm just going to go a normal layer over top of it. Okay. I just have to be careful what I do. Can't paint under it anymore. See, that's what you get for collapsing your layers. Shouldn't have collapsed my layers. That's brighter than I want. Why is it so bright? Okay, what's this? So I want it darker. I just don't want to lose that line. That one. Just got to paint around everything I put in there. That's all. See, the advantage of painting under your lines, which I was doing until I collapsed it because I got irritated because I couldn't get to that that stupid thing. I've lost that ability now, so now I'm stuck with not painting my lines. Which is fine, I can do. He's okay. He's okay. I can fix this. Yo, Adrian. You gotta believe in me, Adrian. I'm telling you, I can win this. I can win it, Adrian. And then you lost it. Oh man, did I ruin Rocky for you? I'm so sorry. You know, that was the thing. All that for Rocky. It was actually pretty crazy because you really expected him to win. And then he didn't. He just didn't. Apollo Creed beat him up. I think pretty much every Rocky movie, I think, when I come to think about it, he always lost the first fight and he always made a comeback. Like every time. Now that I'm thinking about it. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so I am playing catch up now because I went ahead and smash my lines together. So. Okay, and then I'm just redoing what I did earlier. Because why? Because I smashed my lines together. That's why. Why did I do that? Because I'm not that smart. Yeah, I know. I'm eroding your faith in me here, but to be honest with you, I don't know how many of you will even watch this video, so especially being that it's going to be really long. I don't know how long because I keep getting interrupted tonight. I have to keep pausing the video. So I have no idea how long this video is going to be, or how long it actually is even at this point. Okay, so why am I doing the dark? Well, that's a couple things. I'm thinking, where's the light going to hit this thing? Right? So the light's gonna, just like, there's two ways you could do this. Light's gonna hit it right where the toes are at, but the whole thing has got to be a little bit darker gray than it is. Can't really be white. I can shine it up a little bit more, but no, it can't be that almost white gray color. Okay. All right. So let's start right here with these boots since we're here. And I'm going to go back in now and bring in the parts that's going to be where light's going to hit it the most. These little rivets, and then it's going to hit. Okay, like this. But you got to remember that this boot has probably got some dents and stuff in it, so it's not going to hit evenly. It's going to hit kind of random sporadically. And it's going to have a little bit of reflection on the lower part of the boot. All right, and then I'm breaking in with this dark and kind of disrupt the shine. And pump up the volume. Pump up the areas of the shadowing and get a real small brush. Not that small. 3 is optimal, but man, there you go. Getting a 3 without typing it is hard to do. So, well, why am I doing? Because there's a little thing here. It's I don't know what you call it. Not a receptacle, but it's a little edge for it's a little kind of edgy thing for that bolts the. I think 6 might have been better. Anyway, it's like an edgy thing that bolts the those little rivets, those little horns on there. So there is an edge to this metal, so it does have an edge. So More rivets. Okay, and once again, here's those things that's talking about their it's a collar, I guess you could call it. It's sort of like a collar. It holds the little horns in place. Okay, why am I putting this all over? Because when I hit it with this, it'll diffuse those little specks of light, so it'll look like little dents and rivets that catch the light on the shoe. Okay, I'll do the same thing to this one. Okay. All right, so metal. All right, see it? See what I'm talking about? It looks like metal. All right, we'll go back up here and do the same thing. Put in the edges. And catching the light on the edge of it. I think there's some kind of a cut area here, probably. And catching the light here. And catching the light on this little edge here. Okay, and then maybe this edge here is catching the light a little bit. Alright, and then this edge here might be catching the light. Alright, and then I come in with my Smudgerama. I'll have to go back and fix the dent. The dent's pretty important on my brush. Man, I'm getting 4s today on that brush. That's pretty good. 9 will work. Put the darks in here where the metal goes in. This is the dent. The dent. It's like a little cut in the metal. Right at the edge. There you go. The metal's been cut. Okay. It's all about contrast. Contrast. Contrast, Miss Money Penny. That's my Sean Connery. Money Penny. Okay. Alright, so we got that. And I got that. Let's move up the line to here. And here we got the light is definitely hitting this top edge of this sucker here. It's got that cut in it. Okay, and then this is light's gonna hit here, and the light's gonna hit this edge, and this edge, this edge, and we didn't put a cut in there, did we? We failed as a World of Warcraft artist. This is why I didn't get the job at Blizzard. I didn't put a cut in my metal right there. But I can redeem myself. There goes the cut. The cut in the metal is there. Alright, and there's the cut in the metal here. Very important to have the cut in the metal. It's just by default, it's the World of Warcraft look. Alright, and put the shininess on it. Gonna get the rivet running out here too, so it kind of, okay. And here it's gonna be on the inside because it's thick. This is like a thick ring. Okay. And a smudge tool. here, we got to put the ring in. Okay, and then the ring over here. Now that skull, I decided I'm going to make it white. So I have to go back and work on the painting the skull. So I'm not going to paint it right now. I'm going to paint it white. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of, kind of on this ring. And this ring is a hard-edged ring there, and then this insert where the skull's at. Okay, and then the white, even though you can't see it in here, it's got to put a little bit of contrast in here, just so you can see the, it's kind of like reflected light bouncing back on the inside of this ring. Okay, and then I'm going to use a smudge tool to kind of blend that in. I know it doesn't look right, but I'm working on it. Bring that line back in here. Bring the line, put the cut in here. I'm going to put the edges on it. Okay. Alright, it goes up there off. Okay. And this cut has edges on it. Yep, edges on the cut. And brighter steel at the top, so that we know that it's the top of that ring. Okay. And then this is going to be kind of there. Kind of like that. Okay. Alright, I'll come back to that in a minute. I'll probably have to go back and touch up a lot of this stuff because this thing is actually, you know what, I'm going to get rid of it. I can work around it. I don't need it. It's bothering me is what it's doing. And I can't see what I'm supposed to be working on because of it. There you go. It looks better without it anyway. Alright, so there. World of Warcraft. I know you don't like me, but hey. It's not that we don't like you. We just don't think you're World of Warcraft material. Whatever. Blizzard artists. Okay. Alright. So, like I said, this skull is going to be painted. So he's going to be finished out. So right now it looks a little weird, but he's going to be painted bone. And when I do that, it'll set it off correctly. So right now, it's got a little, you have to have a little bit of a ring on here. So, and this thing goes into there. A little bit more, the metal going into there. But yet it has to be darker as it goes in there just a little bit. Kind of hides it a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. But I still want you to like, because your eye will still see it and be like, okay, it's definitely going inside that loop of that belt. And then this I don't know. I haven't decided what color this is, and this is causing an issue because I don't even know what color this scabbard is on the belt. This is brown, but I don't know what this is. This is something we don't know yet. All right, so let's put in our I really couldn't work on this because that selection lines were so on there for a minute. I couldn't even work on this little piece. So I left it alone, but I'm back to it now. Alright, so this is going to be... This is the metal armor that goes right here. And then this is just a inset here. Inset plate. I don't know, just kind of a nothing. Just to give it some texture, that's all. It doesn't have any real purpose other than it's just a piece of metal on there to... I should have put a design in it, but I didn't. Anyway, so now it's just put some texturing on this, some metal shining on it a little bit. I'll have to blend that. Okay, put the dark in here. The light's not hitting it. Get the blend to the blend to. Alright. Okay, there you go. Smudge that a little bit. So it's a texture to it, but I don't want it to be too crazy. Okay. Oops. I see a mistake right there. I gotta fix. Gotta harden up that edge. There you go. This is the cut in here. So cut and the dagger. Everything's cut. If it's World of Warcraft, it's got a cut in it. It's just the way it goes. It's got a nick in the metal somehow. Okay, so that. There you go. So I'm putting this little black edge in here. I don't want it too noticeable, but I want it enough to kind of firm up that edge. Same with here. The edges need to be firm so you know they're there. Okay. Gives a firmness to it. If it was 3D like it would be in the game, it'd be 3D, but it's not. So as it's 2D, so it's your responsibility as the artist to make it appear to be solid. I'll nail this kind of edge of this thing here down. Okay. Darken up the fur here so the fur would be coming out of the shadows under here. The way they would catch the light is they would have darker shadows near the edges of things. Gives it some depth. So okay. And here too, give some depth to the shadows. And this backpack needs a little bit of just pop some of these edges. There's a buckle right here I need to fix up. Okay, there. Alright, so the skulls haven't painted yet, so and so do those skulls there. Alright, so the boots are good. Those little things are what they are, those little metal plates, and the boots will be the shin guards have skulls. Oh yeah, then we were working on the wristbands. That's what I was working on. Okay. I know this video's long. Sorry guys, it takes a long time to paint. What am I supposed to do? Oh, if you don't want to watch me, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to change over to a bigger fuzzy brush. just to bring this shot. I don't want to use black, but even bigger. Because I just want this kind of light, kind of shadow coming in here. Just so you understand that this is definitely darker here because it's under the light's not hitting it. Alright. Everything, oops. Too much. I don't like to use black, but it's the quickest way to get to where I'm going at the moment, so I'll use it. But don't normally, I would advise to use the complement color or the color itself. There's a couple artists. Caravaggio is one. I advise you, if you're interested and you want to be a painter or an artist, I advise you study Caravaggio, or at least see what he does. Caravaggio uses so in here I would actually use red in the shadow instead of black to pop this off the green skin, and then on the green on the red I would use green instead of black to pop a shadow. Always use the complement. I can go back and hit that up later with that, but at the moment I'm just trying to get this done. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you got some dark in here. So here, I'll show you. Let's do it. Let's grab a red. Let's grab a deep red, and I'm gonna throw that in here as in the shadow, just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna throw some since I got it out. I'll get it over here, and over here, and over here. Okay. Now you gotta imagine too that you're thinking, okay, that's the light. That could be the light coming off of there. But it's actually it's the complement of the green skin, and it just really kind of creates a nice warm, like a nice kind of living shadow, if you will. And I'll go back to my black. It's fine. I can't totally do it that way, but it's still in there a little bit enough that it adds to the, it just adds to it. It's like, where's that kind of glowy light coming from in there? So it's not a dead flat shadow. Okay. Also, by the way, right there, instead of white, I would go with a really light green. This is almost mint, because the light's going to come in on the back of the what's called the rim light. I haven't even put the lights in here yet. I just put the darks, so I don't want to get too crazy with this when I started it. I started doing it now. I was doing something totally different. I didn't mean to do this. I was putting it in somewhere else, but it's okay. He's green, so still haven't put my texture in yet, but this part of it was supposed to be one of the last things I did, and I started doing it now. See what happened? Can't stop. I'm going to go back in and put some more colors in the face a little bit too. The face is very, very important for the overall look of the whole character. So put some warm colors in the face. Bring a little bit of red in the face. I know it's a compliment, but what will happen is it'll add a little bit of blood, like blood under the skin kind of color. Okay. So where were we? See, it slowly comes together. Oh yeah, we were doing the metal on the bracelets. I got distracted with the. Okay, so the metal on the bracelets. All right, so the metal on the bracelets are all grays, so it's not too bad. And I got this really big brush here. I'll go ahead and use it real lightly because it's a pressure sensitive brush. So, but it'll be a nice kind of fuzzy light color to it, which is what I kind of wanted here. Just put the light in there a little bit. There's the rim light. It's lighting up on the edge. Okay. Alright, and here's the same thing. So, alright, the light really hitting it there. So this guy, these are the metal spikes. I said they were not bone, they were metal. So, okay. And the light's going to come here on the two sides of this guy. I'll really be hitting this one here. Looks almost airbrush. I want to be careful with that. I don't get too crazy with the airbrushing. I'll go back and I have to go back in now and put some non-airbrushy kind of stuff in there too. All right. So, but this gets the job done really quick as far as laying in that light color I want. So can't let it get too crazy with it. Okay, so you have to move it around a little bit to create some kind of like there's like different spots of lights hitting it more than others. It gives kind of that metal feel. It's been pounded metal, like it's been worked into the shape it is. So I'm going to switch off this big brush in a second because it's getting too fluffy looking and I don't want it fluffy. I want it to be alright, so let's lower the size of that brush. Let's bring a medium in. I'm going to lower the size of the brush much smaller, and I'm going to go with a less fuzzy brush. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in my edges, the metal edges. This is the important parts. Okay. And here, even here, you're going to World of Warcraft cuts. You have to have the cuts in the armor. That's the battle damage. Gotta have it. There's a bolt right here. Okay. How dark it is right here, this edge of the metal is still collecting the light, still reflecting the light on an angle. Because that way it changes. Alright. This is going to be very bright because it's going to be okay. So light, little bits of light collecting in here. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead with the airbrush, loosen it up a little bit, make it look a little more blended than it is. Especially that edge here, I'm going to pull it. Okay. Alright, I don't want it to balance. Which way? I don't know. Just do it. Okay, so now we're going to come back in here. Put our metal edges in. Okay. Alright. There's the cut. We got to have the cut in there. Almost forgot about these pieces here. They're pretty important. All the snaps. And the metal ring. Okay. Alright, so now go back in, make the cuts on the edge of that button. Really kind of cuts. We got another cut still. Harden the edges in here. Okay, the cuts. The cuts are dark. He's got a lot of cuts on that side, doesn't he? Harden up the edges a little bit. Make sure they're crispy. Come back in with the lighter color, since I screwed that up a little bit right there, and clip it with an eraser. There, got a little bit crazy for a minute. This too. Okay. All right, and then oops, more blending here. Okay, I'm gonna go back in and texture everything. I'm just not ready for the texturing yet, so at the moment we're gonna go without texturing for a second. You'll see what I mean about this texturing. It really sets things apart. It really makes things look good. Gives it a little bit brighter here. It's really catching the light, the rim light a little bit. Same thing here. It's really catching the light because of where it's coming from. Cuts, metal cuts. This is of the spikes. Remember, I told you this is getting too loose down here, so I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Put our firm lines in here. You know, because you just airbrush everything, it looks like you don't actually know what you're doing. You're just you've seen stuff that's too airbrushed. I know you have. And at first, it's like there's something about it. Like it looks good, but you're like, what doesn't look right about that? Why does that look weird? It looks nice, but it's almost like too soft. That's what it is. It's too airbrushed. Okay. A little bit's fine, but you go too much airbrush. And too much highlights too. You gotta be careful with your highlights. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the blend here for those 4 set highlights. Okay. I use this blend tool so much, it's crazy. It just works so well to make things look better. It just does. Well, here it's bending things, so I gotta be careful. Because I forgot my black line is getting bent. Can't have that. Okay. Alright, so now, oops, a couple more things. Just pull this a little bit. Okay. This one too, just a little bit. Okay. Alright, so now, we're really close. We're pretty close. We got the skulls left to do, the hair, And then I need a texture. So let's start. We're talking this texture forever. And you're like, what are you talking about? Actually, let me do the skulls first. Alright, so let's grab the skulls. Let's grab the colors from the skulls that we have already. So we got this color. And it must be on another level. What it is. So this level. Yep, got it. And this one. Alright, let's go. Let's do the skulls. We're doing them on another layer here, apparently. I forgot that I did that. Alright, so we got the skulls. Alright, put them in here. And skulls in World of Warcraft have large eye sockets. And extended, kind of squared off cheekbones. Okay. I painted my characters, my players from when I played D&D. I painted them, not mine personally, but my players that play with me, my friends that are players in the game. Anyway, I'm the DM, so anyway, but I painted the party for them. I painted everybody into a painting, and I painted the skull. The one guy, he's an ogre, just like this, actually, a lot like this guy, and he has a skull in his belt buckle too. I guess it's a thing I like to do, and I painted it so realistic, like and he was standing behind other people, other characters, and they're like, we have a skeleton in our party? Who's the skeleton? And they're like, I'm like, no, that's the belt buckle. They're like, oh yeah, I see it now. Because it looked so much, I don't know if it was good or bad that it didn't work, but it kind of didn't work in a weird way. But it looks so much like a character to them, because I did it so realistically. It looked like another character. And the party was funny. I don't know, maybe it wasn't that funny. He had to be there. I thought it was funny. Okay. And yeah. So there's a skull in his belt buckle. Actually, I lit it wrong. The brightest part would actually be here. This is where the light's coming from. And there. And not the way I lit it. But this part right here would actually be not lit as much. Let's see, let's put the little crack in there. And put the okay. So there you go. One skull on the belt buckle. Fix that. And then let's do the skulls on these knees. So I actually lost my dark skull color. I guess that was it right there. Let's paint this in. Use a bigger brush. Paint the overall kind of skull-ish color here. Okay. I'm going to go way darker. And try to fix this skull that looks bad. Let's go down here. Let's do our... Let's go. You got a little bit. There. All right, so... Okay, and then, yeah, you got a little unskulled there, if you will. He didn't look good. He wasn't looking good. And then this guy over here, same thing. This guy's got giant buck teeth. There. Let's try to repair him. There's no lower jaw on these guys, so. There you go. That's better. Just had to fix it a little bit. Okay. Alright. We've got ourselves two skulls there. This one looks more like a skull of a chimpanzee. I think it's the teeth. Something. Yeah, that's a little better. Alright, this guy's bad dental. Okay. Alright, and light it correctly. The other one I lit that one pretty good actually, I think. go. 2 skulls. Alright, let's fix the black line on this guy. The skull has got too much gray showing around him. Okay. And put the bones back in there. The cracks. The skull. Okay. Alright. Alright. And then this guy needs a little bit, just a little bit of this erased out of here. There. Okay. Just a little bit. Alright. There we go. So these are good. And then, I don't know why, but I'm going to go ahead and lower this layer on here. I don't know why it was above it. Just so I can keep working without stopping, because I'm just trying to finish things up now. The light's catching this edge of this knee piece here. The knee guard, whatever this thing is. I'll put a little bolt here like it that's holding on. Same thing here. This is kind of a alright, and then the bottom of that bolt needs a little bit of black on it to bring it together. Okay, so we don't really know why that looks like that, but it just does. Okay. Alright, and this has a bolt here, I think, too. An edge. And then this is going to be this color right here. Almost a little gold, but it's okay. It'll work it'll work because I'll smudge it. You won't be able to tell so much. I just want it to look like there's a line there. I need to get this hide. I don't know what that was doing, but okay. This one too. Clean that all up. Okay. Alright, the dagger needs to be fixed, doesn't it? And the bottom of the boots. The bottom of the boots and the dagger. And then I gotta put the texturing in. So I keep talking about this texturing. The legendary texture. Okay, so his dagger, his little belty thing here is red. So what color do I make that dagger scabbard? Probably, I'll go with the same red. Why not, right? See what it looks like. Worst thing is worse, I just repaint it. That's too bright of a red. It's gotta be this red here. And the brush needs to be bigger. Okay, there we go. I like that red on it. So we put it all the way down. And we put it here. There's these 2 gems or something here. I'll figure out what those are in a second. They were just a design element, really, when I put it on there. Maybe they're gold buttons. So, what color is this? Is it steel or is this? I think it's gold. I think we're gonna go with gold because. So let's see what it looks like in gold. See what it looks like in gold, because I'll make this to gold too. Top of the dagger. Why? Because World of Warcraft likes to have stuff in gold. And this part of the dagger's gold too. This whole dagger's gold. It's a fancy dagger. I was gonna have a steel, but it'll be gold. Okay. And then these are gold buttons. All right, so this is not the finished gold, even a little bit. It's just a it's just a color I was just to put to establish it. Okay, so I'm gonna come back in with this orange or more orange gold to go in on it. Right. Okay, and then it's gonna have oranger looking gold because it makes the other look yellow, doesn't it? Because it was. It wasn't gold at all, it was yellow. But it was just a test, really. I just want to see how it looked. Okay. Alright. Now, I wish my eyes are going blurry. I'm going to have to stop pretty soon. Okay, here's my colors. Gold one. Okay, that's what I want. Alright, so this is my gold that I like to work with. It's a nice gold. Okay, so I gotta fix all this with darker gold. Alright, this is gold. Come back in and fix all the other parts. Okay. Alright. Do I have a dark gold in here? My eyes are getting so not good. I think this was the dark gold. So the dark gold's gonna go here, 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 and here. Now, trust me, I'll fix this. Okay. Alright. But not all gold is shiny. Some of the gold is obviously not. But I gotta balance it out. Gotta make it look right. Alright, so then with a little bit of really, really small dark gold, really dark, because it's gotta be the edges of things. And then you're like, well, I thought the edges are like, they will watch. I just need to nail this in here a little bit. It was getting lost. Okay. This one is really getting lost down here. I have to fix it in the background with black. It got out of hand. It definitely got out of hand there, see it? Okay, and then this has got to be the red edge. Okay. And fix this. Alright, so the gold itself. Alright, so then the orangey gold. Right in there. Okay, so this will be where the light's hitting it kind of thing. Flex off the edges of it. Okay. Okay, and this said the part where the flex. Right, and then we got the edges here. Okay. Gold really catches the edges. Okay. And then you got your really bright spots, which would be the very edges. Okay. Alright. Some of these edges can be bright too. The edge. The highlight where it really lights it. Okay. Edge, 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 white spot. Okay. Alright, and then, oh, I keep forgetting all about these little gold tabs. Okay. And then, to really knock this gold out the park, we throw in the white spot. Ching. The really brightest spots on the gold. Ching. 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 Can't get too crazy with the white, because I like I did right there. I got a little bit too much. So now I gotta tone it down a little bit with, hit it up with a little bit of this just to break up that. Can't have too much of that ching. Too much and it loses it. And then a little bit of blur to the whole thing. Bada bing, bada bang, you got some gold there. Gold in them there hills. I say there's gold in them there hills. So old Jed, he was a millionaire. And they said, folks said, Beverly Hills is where you ought to go. So we packed up the family and moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools. Movie stars. The Beverly Hillbillies. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm not just being weird. It's a real show. Okay, so I forgot all about this dagger. So we'll fix this. I'm just going to put in the places where the light's hitting it. It's like, kind of like a, I think it's kind of a, laced handle here. And then there you go. All right. All right. Let's see how this will be back out. Yeah, that looks like a gold dagger. Okay. All right. So, gotta finish his face. I put these boots. So the boots are gonna be. We're just gonna go with black kind of rubber on these boots. And you're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Well, I don't know. Good question. Why am I not filling it in a different way? I don't know. I just decided to do it this way. Okay. And then take the eraser and take out my little, I don't know, I always like to put a little, like if they were work boots or something, they have a little bit of a grip on there. They're probably in real life, well, There's no ogres in real life, but medieval boots probably had a leather sole, and that was about it. I've seen, pictures of old ancient shoes. They were lucky to have shoes, but they were just like kind of a leather, just a flat piece of leather, really. And that was it. It wasn't nothing like we have now, that's for sure. Wonder what they would think of our shoes nowadays. They would probably freak out. Wonder if they would freak out more about the shoes. Oh, I forgot to paint these things. Wonder if they'd freak more about the shoes or what, or the airplanes, or what. What would they freak out about most? Hard to say. I mean, obviously I wouldn't know, but what would freak them out the most? Maybe it would depend on what they're like. I don't know. What would freak them out more? Airplanes would definitely freak them out, I think. Computers would probably blow their mind. Even a cigarette lighter, geez. I guess it depends how far you go back, but in time, but Jesus, cigarette lighter. How much effort they probably went into creating fire, or like the there's a movie called Quest for Fire. It's an old movie, but they had these like cave people, I guess. I don't know what kind of cave people or whatever, but they were cave people, and they had lightning struck, and they found fire, and they figured out to use it, and then they were carrying around on a stick. Like they carried around like it was like, you know what I mean? It was precious, whatever. As it was, I guess, they didn't know how to make it. So can you imagine you show up and open up a cigarette lighter and be like, psh, here you go. And right there. But then you pull out your cell phone. You'd have no service, of course. But you could have all your pictures in it, and I don't know. It would just and it would make a light, and man, they would just lose it. Okay, so there's that, and then since I have that black line and everything else, I suppose I should put it back here, so I don't have it. Everything else has the black line. Took the black line away here too. Put it back. Put it back. And the sword is not, his sword's not that I was going to make. The ice sword's not done. I'm not going to do it tonight. Trust me. Don't worry. You're like, no, come on. You gotta stop. I know, right? I do have to stop. I have to stop pretty soon. My eyes are getting blurry. Yeah, so I'll do his hair and then I'll stop. I won't. Oh man, the texture. I keep promising you that texture. I really got to do it. All right. What color hair does he have, guys? Oh, I gotta put the gold ring, the gold earring, and the gold. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just put this color there for right now. Okay. I can do his eyes too. What color hair? do a fill. All right. Take out the area I just put in. All right, and then we're going to edit fill. Bam. Okay. And then we're going to take a lighter green. Why does he have green here? I don't know. He just does. Remember, the light's coming in from up here, so the brightest, lightest part of his hair is going to be near the ends, right? Not the best hair I've done, but it'll work. I think it looked better before I did that. I think my smudge tool has betrayed me in this one. The reason it betrayed me is because of this part right here. There you go. This part right here has got a, where the turn occurs. Yeah. That's the part I wasn't for sure about. Alright. I'll fix it. Let's go back in. Oops. That is the wrong color. Control Z. Thought that was the darker green. Oh no, no wonder. Okay. No wonder it didn't look right for that. There you go, see? It's just taking that shape and repeating it. There you go. The guy has hair. Alright, so let's select, let's deselect it. Put a couple strands coming off of it. Because obviously even his flowing locks aren't going to be perfect. And then we'll get even brighter on a couple. Let the light really hit it. All right, I like it. You've got beautiful hair. Okay, so it's got hair, he's got armor, and we need to put in our texture. Oh, and his eyes. Let me do his eyes real quick. Okay, so here's a little trick about eyes. Oh yeah, I gotta do his nose ring. But besides that, so the way you usually do eyes is you select the brightest color on the character. You never get brighter than that. You think, wait, you should spell white. No. You get the brightest color. Now his guy is green, so brightest green that we have on him is actually way down here. How about that? That's a little brighter. I'm gonna go even a little bit brighter. Just, I'm trying to get out of the green. I don't want him with green eyes. I don't want him with white eyes either, but this light green is gonna have to do. Okay. Now, the reason that is because if you go stark white, it will just look weird. Okay. Alright, so eyes are going to be, I'm just going to do the whole eye. I'll fill in the pupil in a minute. Just don't worry about that pupil. Okay, so just do the whole eye. Alright, now, this is so green. I'm going to go down here a little bit and kind of do the edges a little bit, just a little bit shadowing on the edges. Okay, then the center of the eye, I'll go up a little bit up here, the center of the eye, forward part of the eye. Okay, just trying to establish just the roundness of the eye. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the pupil. I'm going to go down here into the black. Okay, and I'm going to put in the eye itself. Alright. Then I'm going to go in with the eye color. So he's got green eyes. What if he has this kind of a purpley red eye? That would be kind of like an iris. That might be kind of neat looking. Let's try it. See what it looks like. Sorry. Oops. What am I doing? Alright, let's get this in here for his eye. Really small. Oh, no, it's too small. There you go. So let's put in the red of his eye around his pupil. Okay, do the same thing for this one. Around his pupil. Right of the eye. Okay, so right of the eye. Now we gotta remember where the light's coming in on this, right? Let's get a little darker around parts of his eye here, so we don't want it too bright yet. Okay. Alright. A little darker. Alright, so here's the trick. It's called bejeweling the eye. So light's coming in from over here. So light's gonna be hitting his eye here and lighting it up here. Right, and you're like, what? Trust me. Watch this. The light hits it here. Hits it on this side. But it lights it up. Lights up the eye. Down here. And then the red, the bright part of the red of this part of the eye will be here. See that? Bam. That's the way you do an eye. Cool, huh? Neat trick. Alright. Learned that from another awesome illustrator. Okay, so I'm going to put in a little bit of just a little bit of a shadow. Always this eye. Kind of go with this eye here. I don't know. It's got a little bit of a. Technically, it would be like more like this, and his nose bridge would be here. I'm going to be hiding this kind of another pouch to his eye here. I'm going from cartoony to more realistic here, but I can't help it. When you work on the face, I feel like the face needs to be done right. I can't not do the face right, so darken the lip up here. This earring, nose ring, and this earring needs to be made into gold. The lobe of the ear, kind of thing that sticks out here in the ear and in here. Okay, so let's grab our correct colors. Bam. Let's go a little bit too bright, right there. Okay, now lip, and then the light on the nose, the light next to the eye, the edge of the eye here, the light on the nose ridge. I don't know why it's always kind of a little bit of a light. This light right here, I've never quite figured out exactly why you put that there, but for some reason, it just looks good when you do it. It's because sometimes the light doesn't even hit right there, but you still put it there, and it still looks correct. It just makes it look good. I don't know what it is about that light, that one spot of light. I never figured that out. So I've watched lots of other illustrators working and stuff, and it's very common practice to put that light spot right there, and nobody really explains exactly why. No one's. They just do it. They just like, but they like, and it looks good. So it's a little bit of a thing. So I'm just going through and kind of hitting it up where the light hits it, kind of diffusing it a little bit. These are the eyebrows. I'll fix those in a minute. All right, so let me. Okay, well, if you notice, all you kind of do is just kind of jiggle this thing. I don't really make it rub it. I'll just kind of jiggle it, and it puts just enough of a smudge that it kind of works. I don't know. Alright, so then this color is going to be the darkest color, and then that'll work. I like that color. It's dark enough, I think it'll work. So I want to pull in the... Nope, it needs to be darker. Thought it was enough. Alright, there you go. It's not truly a black. It's still a green, but it's not a... I don't want a true black green, so... Because you got to have this... You got to think that his lip is going to kind of come up there, and then this is the nostrils. So a little bit shaded here. It's going to come down a little bit there. So kind of shadowy here. Shadowy. His lip. Let's put a kind of a coloration on his lip there. Eyebrow. Smudge that out. I don't even know what that is supposed to be. This smudging is too big. I gotta hit stuff I don't want to hit. Okay. Tooth has got to affect this lip more. Right, this earring. The lobe is there. This is the neck muscles, chin. Okay, this is the there you go. Alright, and then this is kind of just be darker in here. Side of his nose. Right, that over there. I'm really close up on this thing, so I'll make sure. Yeah. It looks good. Okay, so he's kind of, he's got one of those butt chins. Let's clarify what that is. It's Adam's apples here. His neck muscles. And down here, his something called I forgot what that's called. That thing. It's not scapula. What is that thing? I can't think of the name of it. Collarbone, but that's not technically the term for it. But whatever, it'll work. All right, so I want a little bit of. There's a little bit of, even though this is his eyebrow here, it has a little bit of light catching it, like, you know, places. So it'll be a little bit of. Okay. This thing. I gotta fix the gold on here. Dark gold. We're gonna go for a quick gold on this one. We're not gonna get too fancy like I did last time with the dagger. Quick dark gold. Oh, should have did the earring too. It looks green, but we'll fix it. It would be a little green because it would be reflecting the light around it, but it's really green. It's so green. I think I coughed and moved it by accident. I think I keep coughing and moving it or something. There you go. That's the color I wanted, not that green. Okay. Almost done, guys, and then we'll stop this video. You're probably like, geez, how freaking long is this video? I like the real-time videos instead of you guys might not, but I do, because I feel that you can't really learn from those fast ones. I mean, you don't know what I'm actually doing, you know. Let's see. So this is going to be the little highlights in it. Told you it's going to be quick gold. It's not going to be the pretty gold I did before. But fast. This is just quick. Down to dirty gold. Just nail the edge of this earring a little bit. Darkened up. So it pops. Same thing with this thing. Just really pop it. Okay. Alright, so you know what? I like everything, but the eye is just too much. There it goes. It was too weird shaped. There. Alright. His head needs a little more round. I don't know. It was just bugging me when I was looking at it. There. Although now this looks crooked. Right? It looks like it's off to one side of his head instead of the middle. So it's like kind of, it's got to be in the back of his head, not the top. Alright, there you go, that's better. Alright, so there he is. Without his sword. Oh, without his texturing too. Okay, let's save him. You're like, I gotta see what this texture thing is all about. He's gonna be number 5. Man, I don't know. This video is probably 2 hours long. It's like a movie or more. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a longer video. I understand if you don't want to watch it. Alright, so I'll make one more layer on top. Oh, black is fine for right now. Actually, I'm gonna get yeah, black's fine for what I'm doing. Okay, I gotta find a texture here. So I just go down here and find something textury, like this might work. Let's see what else we got here. I know I have that sitting there, if nothing else. Well, I don't want leaves. Charcoal texture. What's that look like? That works, sort of. Alright, let's make it big. Let's make it a multi-layer. Let's start throwing it on there so it looks like. Let's see here. I need it bigger. Yeah. Just, it adds a little bit of like dirt and grime to things. Things have been used and abused, and skin texture and dirt. And don't worry, I'll come back and work on it some more. I just want to get it on there, and then we'll manipulate it a little bit more. It just makes it look better. Dirty and beat up and grimy. Alright, so alright, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to erase it everywhere that I don't want it. Get a bigger eraser. Faster. Okay. See, I just randomly put it all over and it already looks better, doesn't it? Okay, it's not a multiply layer, so other way, so actually I think I need a little bit more in some places. I just want to get it so it stays just on him. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to it and throw it down a little bit more in here. A little bit more in here. A little more in here, here. Okay. Eraser again. Get enough areas that I want it. Okay. Okay. Then let's see what other textures I got here. Oil medium? No. What is this? Oh, I like that brush, but it's an eraser. I didn't mean to erase with it. I was like, why is it? I can't see what it's doing anything because it was erasing. I want it for a brush, not an eraser. Okay, let's go. It was down here. I know it looked like a lemon. Let's go get it. It's down here somewhere. Well, I don't know where it went now, so I'm tired. I'm just gonna grab this. See what this does. Oh, I like this kind of hairs. It's kind of cool. Looks like some body hair. I don't know if they have body hair or not. Now he does. Nah. Get rid of that. I tapped it a lot of times. I hope I can get rid of all of it. Doesn't look like I can get rid of all of it. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Let's grab another one. Oh, it actually literally says hair right there. I didn't see that. Wet sponge. What does that look like? Yeah, not bad. It needs to be bigger though. There you go. Oops. Too much. You can kind of see the shape. I don't want to see the shape, I just want to. I have to go through and erase it a little bit, but. See, it just adds kind of, it's supposed to be like dirt, it's adding to it or whatever. So I'll go through and erase some of it off. But other places I think it's, looks good on there. His boots are probably pretty dirty, so. Okay, let's go through and erase it with the funky eraser apparently I had on there. I had the one I wanted to get for the other one, and I don't even know what this is. I don't know why I picked that. This is fine. Just make it smaller. Okay. I gotta clean off the extra, that's all. Where it went over the edge. And then somewhere where it got to take off some of the, where it kind of made it look like a definite pattern. I don't want it to look like a pattern. What's going on there? I thought I finished that, but I guess I didn't. Alright, so a little bit too much in his forehead here. I can take some of that off. Take out some of this hair stuff I didn't like anyway. I don't know. Alright, so there's some basic, just a little bit of too much patterny looking going on here. Just gonna, so there is like a little bit of texturing to it. So, you know, it makes it look like a little bit of dirt and wear and tear. Looks a little more real that way. Alright, so that's with it. That's without it. With it. Okay, we can lower it down so it's not so... You see what I have to put it to normal instead. Normal. Still doesn't even look bad at normal. And then now let's go ahead and let's lower the opacity of it a little bit so it's not too crazy. It's there, but it's not. It's just about like there. Yep, it adds a nice texture to it, so I like it. Alright, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to stop for tonight, and I'll finish this up later. So, save as number 6. Save. Alright, so there we go. So there he is. There's our orc character. What layer is that arrow on? There it is. I want to get rid of it. There's our orc character. It's going to go. And the sword, I'm going to finish up the sword and save that. Put that in his hand. Where's the sword at? The sword around here? Yeah. So I could give him this one, but I'm going to make the ice one and give him that one. So, but yeah. So it came out pretty cool, right? It's not too bad. It's a fun character. All right. So he's kind of cartoony. And he's one. Oops. These other guys. Nope. There he is. He goes right there. So we'll put him there and do it. I haven't painted this guy yet. I just drew him. I might redo him or repaint him. And I haven't made these two yet. So, all right. Finish the sword first but I just wanted to paint the guy out. All right, guys. I'm going to stop here. Thank you.